Hey there, welcome back to Oki Outdoor Adventures. It's been a little while since I've done a product review or unboxing, so that's what we're going to do today. Now, what I'm going to show you today, and you already know, you clicked on the title, you probably clicked on the thumbnail, but what I'm going to show you today is the 13 Fishing Inception right-handed reel. Now, I did get this for my birthday. It comes in around $120. You can find them different places, but I got this reel as a birthday gift and wanted to kind of share with you my first impressions. So we'll just start out with the visual on the reel. From a perspective of aesthetics, I like it. I love this color. I don't know really how to describe that color. It's not really a gunmetal. It's a gray of sorts, but it looks very, very visually appealing. I like the rubber handles, the 13 Fishing rubber handles. You've got an audible star drag. The tension knob is well done. It feels really well put together. It's got the 13 Fishing emblem on it. And then as you can see, there's no external braking mechanism on the outside of the reel. We'll get to that in just a minute. Couple of facts about the reel before I share with you my impressions. It is an HD aluminum frame with graphite side plates. So the side plates are graphite. This is extremely light. It comes in at around 6.9 ounces. Very, very light reel. A multi-material oversized drag washer, so you're getting 18 pounds of drag with this reel. It's an absolute brute. Haven't really been able to put it to the test yet in that regard, but 18 pounds of drag is just phenomenal. And it is the EVA Tech handles, which I'll give you a better view of those. If you've thrown any of the 13 Fishing reels, you know what they are all about. It's got the instant stop anti-reverse system, so you're not going to see any back play in the spool, which I think is really nice. You've got, and I'm going to butcher this, but the Japanese Hamai cut bearings. It's really kind of complex to explain, but it's got an 8 bearing system. So you've got 2 of the Japanese cut bearings, you've got 5 stainless bearings, and then an additional bearing, which I'm trying to think of the name of that, but at any rate, it's an 8 bearing system. So this is the right hand 8 1-to-1, again 6.9 inches, 18 pounds of drag. It's got the high spin spool system, which is supposed to help with additional casting distance. Now, it is a bit of a workhorse reel. It's defined as a workhorse reel. So initially I thought maybe given the weight of the reel that, I wasn't really going to be able to put that to the test, but I've been relatively pleased so far. A couple more features and then we'll move on to the impression. You've got the bait keeper actually on the reel. So the rod that I have this paired up with doesn't actually have a bait keeper. I could order some, but it's nice to have the bait keeper on the reel. You can narrow it down there. And it's got an arrow line guide, I think, system is what it's called, which is pretty cool. I'll post some of the links for the specs or in the description below. Now, as I mentioned before, no external brake. It does have the beetle wing system for the side plate, so we'll flip that open and it just pops out, which is nice, right? You don't have to worry about that side plate falling off. And it's got a centrifugal braking system, six settings on the centrifugal brake, and it's advertised as easy to fine tune. And as we move a little deeper into this video, I'll explain why I left a little bit there. All right, so let's jump right into my impressions of the performance of the reel. Aesthetics, 5 out of 5. Thing's beautiful, it's light, looks good. Performance, I was initially a little bit skeptical. So I'm going to layer in some cast footage from this last weekend and then give you a little bit of background on what we're seeing. So check this out. Dude. No, it can be on circulate. No. Like I'm literally having to make micro adjustments with it. Makes no sense. It makes... Nah, I'll get it figured out. Okay, so as you saw, not the best experience overall. Now, what you didn't get in those is me making attempts to fine-tune the reel, messing with the centrifugal brakes, messing with the tension knob. What I discovered was I was throwing 20-pound fluoro. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Seagar fluoro, right? And almost every cast was a backlash. No matter how tight I had the tension knob turned down, I mean, I could crank it all the way down, but I wasn't getting any casting distance. But I had the centrifugal brakes all the way set at 6, had the tension knob adjusted, was still getting backlashes terribly. So I was a little bit worried initially. After the tournament on Saturday, I dropped down to 15-pound P-line, re-spooled everything up, got a little bit tighter spool. You can see some looseness in there, but that's just where I cut the bait that I had on off and reeled that line in. And went out Sunday morning, and these were the results. So check this one out. So as you can see, much better experience overall with the smaller line. Now, a couple of things that are worth noting. The Seagar that I had was, I don't know, a couple months old. It was still on a spool. So you could argue that maybe I should have used a conditioner, or maybe the line was a little bit too heavy. The new line obviously performed much better, but I think there's something to be said about that, right? So I did make some fine-tuning adjustments. I still have it set on 6 for the centrifugal brake. I'm going to start backing that off a little bit as I get more comfortable with the reel. The tension is set. I did notice that you have to make extremely fine adjustments with that tension knob, right? So you can't do full turns or even half turns, really. They're not microscopic, right? But they're very minimal adjustments. You probably hear the cat bell. She's jumping around. So much better results on Sunday. I was actually relieved. I text Alex, who actually, he got me this for my birthday. I text him and let him know rather, that the reel was absolutely phenomenal. This thing will just absolutely rip it. Some of those casts were considerable distances. I was also able to dial it back just a little bit and do a little bit of flipping, which, I mean, that's really nice considering the type of reel. The 8:1-to-1 ratio is probably going to lead this to be another one of my top water setups. I was throwing it with, or for just a couple of jigs, or I think just jigs on Sunday, because I was trying to find a bite. But I think I'm going to throw some braid on here and give it a shot as another top water alternative, and maybe transition my SLX DC back to more of a finesse style application. Maybe, I don't know, haven't decided yet. I've got a lot of really fast speed reels, so I need to make some hard decisions on what needs to be replaced or how I'm going to fish with what. At any rate, final thoughts on the reel. Make sure you've got good line on it. Obviously, it looks good. It performs very well so far. The couple of fish that I did get to fight with, it held up. I had the drag cranked down, wasn't able to pull anything. In fact, it pulled line into the spool on one of the fish that I hooked up on versus ripping drag, so I think I can make some adjustments back on that. Overall, it feels really good. You can palm it really well. The handles feel phenomenal. It feels well made, and at that price point, I don't think you can really beat it. It didn't cost me anything. It was a birthday gift. But if you're in the market, the 13 Fishing Inception reel, I think, should be on your consideration list. If you made it to this point in the video, I appreciate each and every one of you. These short 10, 12-minute videos are really fun for me to make. I've got another reel that I probably will I've got another reel that I will probably review next week, and a couple of rods. I'm not going to do a full review on the rods, but I will talk about them a little bit later. So if you're not currently a subscriber, which like 90% of you guys aren't that watch these videos, please consider hitting that subscribe button now. Thank you for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time on the water.